Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. If you probably can guess, TNA are now on the road to rebellion, so battle lines are now being drawn. But however, implications for an upcoming event prior before rebellion has been mentioned, which is of course unbreakable. However, I think the real question we ask ourselves is our current TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry. The real question is, will he be 100%? That is a question that we're going to be, of course, hearing from. And of course, we have Ring of Honor featuring many talents, including a proving ground match. As you know, our brand new ROH World Champion, two-time Bandito, will be in a proving ground match against former ROH World Champion Jay Lethal, which is going to be very interesting as well. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing from two different Joshi promotions. The first one is, of course, Marvelous, featuring, of course, the only male member in the roster, Leo Isaka. As you probably know, he's the only male person in the roster. He celebrates his 8th anniversary since debuting, so it's going to be a very special night for him. And then, of course, we have MARIGOLD as they continue with more of the Spring Victory Series. Nothing too special, but pretty good matches as well. But, as always, we have some news updates to keep you guys updated on what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are said. However, we do not have any developments that has been regarding what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the pleasantries. So, let's get the show on the road. So let's begin with Marvelous. Okay, Marvelous. As I mentioned before earlier in the start of this episode, they celebrate the 8th anniversary of Leo Isaka, who is the only male wrestler in the entire roster. Now, some of you may question, does he wrestle the women? Well, only if they booked mixed tag matches or intergender matches, whatever. But however, Leo is the only male wrestler who's been trained under Shigusa Nagayo. He's been wrestling for now 8 years. He also appeared in various promotions as well, but he represents, of course, Marvelous since that's where it started. Nothing too special about him, but there are a lot of wrestlers that respect him a lot since he's the only one who is in this promotion. But yeah, so we'll get more on him. He will be featuring in the main event, taking on a guy named Kamikaze, but we'll get to that. But right now, let's start from the very beginning with the first match. Now, our first match, we have Sora Ayame, who is one of the rookies in the promotion, taking on, of course, Takumi Iroha. Now, it's no secret, so many of you may know that Takumi Iroha is the ace of Marvelous and the current AAW champion. So you would think, okay, this will go in her favor. But however, this is one of those moments where Ayame has to, step up her game, knowing you're not facing a amateur or a slouch. You're facing the person who is the top dog in the entire Marvelous roster. So basically, that's what she had to prove. But unfortunately, it didn't do any well because she ended up on the wrong side of the sharpshooter by Iroha, and of course, she had to tap out just like that. So it ended. Now, I don't know exactly what Takumi said to her during the post-match promo, but I'm sure she gives her some wisdom. I'm not sure if it has something to do with the match that, of course, I mentioned where Sora Ayame will team up with her idol, Unagi Sayaka. That's one of the things that we probably will get to that at some point. But as of right now, that's another time. But let's move on. Our next match, we have a tag match. We have Senka Asatsuki teaming up with Ai Hausen to take on Ayame Sazamura and Itsuki Aoki. Now, of course, Senka Atsuki is, of course, just like Ayame, another rookie. Most likely be the one to, of course, be the one to take the fall, which is common in every match when it comes to the rookies in any promotion in Japan. However, that wasn't the case in this match. It was, of course, Eihausen who ended up on the wrong side of the Tiger Suplex by Aoki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Now, they took a bit of a break from here. Mio Momono, who, as you all know, is out of action due to an injury, she just showed up and just talked. I don't know what they talk. Like I said, Marvelous and a few other promotions don't have English commentators or anybody can do translation for, of course, if any of the overseas fans are watching. And, of course, Takumi Iroha was there. I don't know what they were saying, but it seems like they were having a great time. So, that's pretty much what was going on, and then they jump into the intermission. But anyway, let's keep moving forward. Our next match, we have Yurika Oka. She teams up with, of course, with Chikayo Nagashima to take on Magenta, Maria, and Riko Kawahara. Now, of course, you probably can guess when it comes to Oka and Nagashima, they are a makeshift team. Sometimes makeshift teams, as we know, it's a 50-50 chance how this is going to end. Either they're going to win or they're going to fall. Because we do know Magenta are a good cohesion team, and not to mention former tag champions who are now trying to reclaim the belts, of course, from Sonaka Kato and Ryo Mizunami. But you probably can guess, in your honest opinions, that Magenta would definitely win this one since they are a good cohesion team. But for some reason, things did not go exactly like they would have hoped for. I mean, you would have expected cracks coming between Oka and Nagashima, but they were able to pull through. But unfortunately, this match ended in a time limit draw of 20 minutes. So basically, no one wins or loses. So pretty much that's how it ended. Now, as our main event, we jump in. It's Leo Isaka, as I said, the only male wrestler in the promotion itself, who trained under, of course, Shigusa Nagayo, faces off against Kamikaze. You know, I like the name Kamikaze, pretty cool. So anyway, Leo, as you know, has picked up wins here and there. Nothing too big, but I did say he did appear in various promotions. I can't specify which ones yet because it's a long list. But anyway, I have to say he did pull through, but unfortunately this match did not entirely go his way to celebrate his 8th anniversary because Kamikaze put him away with the moonsault, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And then, of course, since it was Isaka's 8th anniversary, well, he did a little post-match promo. Like I said, I don't know what he said, but I'm sure he was thankful for people for being there to celebrate his 8th anniversary. And hopefully, maybe next year, something will be a little different. But we'll see. So I think that's pretty much it what we have with Marvelous. I believe we move on with our next review, and that is, of course, Marigold. Okay, as we continue more with the tour from Marigold Spring Victory Series, this happened recently on the 6th of April, but it was not broadcast in Wrestle Universe until the 8th, and they were at the Kobe Somba Hall in Kobe, in the city of Kobe, in case anybody asks. So anyway, nothing too special about this event, but there were pretty good matches. Now we opened up with, of course, Megaton taking on Nagisa Tachibana. Now, nothing too special on this. I know Megaton has been walking on eggshells with Darkness Revolution on few matches where initially she lost. The real question I asked myself is she still part of the group? But however, she was able to pick up a good win against Nagisa when she applied a body press onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next match, we have Riara versus Chika Goto. So, nothing too special about this, but of course, Chika Goto, I know she's been frustrated recently with of course the shenanigans from Mitsa Matsui. But however, it's great that she was able to focus on herself right now to build up momentum for whatever. And then of course she faces against Riara, and this match ended with, of course, with the infamous Boston Crab by Chika Goto onto Riara. And of course Riara, knowing there was too much she cannot handle, she had no choice but to tap out, and just like that, Chika Goto walked away with the victory. Next up, we have tag team match. We have Yuki Minami teaming up with Hummingbird. They take on Ryoko Sakimura and, of course, the first ever Superfly champion, Natsumi Shozuki. So, nothing too special about this match anyway. We have seen Hummingbird face and team up with Shozuki on various occasions, but nothing too special about this match whatsoever. But, however, this match ended with Minami applying a somewhat of a suplex onto Sakimura, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done, just like that. Next up, we have Darkness Revolution. We have Mitsa Matsui and Chiaki, who, as you all know, has been recently, these two ladies have become a good team since teaming up, not to mention Mitsa Matsui embracing the dark side with Darkness Revolution has been very helpful. But their opponents are none other than, of course, Rhea Seto and Kizuna Tanaka. Now, nothing too special about this. We know that, of course, Chiaki and Mitsumatsu may make a play for the Twin Star Tag Team belt. That's a real question that we have to wait and see if it's 100% official. But they were able to pick up the win when, of course, Mitsumatsui applied a ghetto clutch onto Kizuna Tanaka, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next match, we have tag team action. We have Seri Yamaoka, who is one half of the Twin Star Tag Team Champions with Nana Takahashi. She teams up with, of course, the number one contender for the Marigold World title, Mirai, while their opponents are none other than our current Superfly champion, Victoria Yuzuki, and our world champion, Utami Ayashida. Now, of course, you can consider this match a preliminary match because Mirai is the number one contender to face, of course, Utami Ayashida. But some of you may question, okay, who is going to get the momentum on this one? I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think it matters because they're both excellent wrestlers. I mean, Utami Ayashida, who has been trying to be at the top of the mountain, is doing that now, and Mirai is trying to climb the mountain. But unfortunately, this match ended in a time limit draw after 15 minutes. So that's how things end there. But I don't know exactly what happened in the post-match promo. Mirai had some words to say to Utami. I'm sure Mirai is saying that sooner or later she's going to take that belt off of her and it's going to be around her waist. But of course, Utami probably will not let that happen. She'll fight until the very end. So we'll see what happens. Now, our main event, we have a 6-woman tag match. We have Gigaton teaming up with the other members of Darkness Revolution, Bozilla and Nagiza Nozaki. They take on Chanyota, Miku Anu, and Mai Sakurai. Now, nothing too special about this. Now, however, many of you would know that, of course, Mai Sakurai is the current United National Champion. If someone defeat her, most likely she could be the one to, of course, get a shot of the belt. But however, that was not the case that took place. It was Miku Anu with the Styles Clash onto Gigaton, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Miku Anu picked up the win for her team with Chanyota and Mai Sakurai. So we'll see what happens until then. I don't know. I think we do have another one coming up. I'm not sure, but we'll see. But as of right now, we are officially done with MARIGOLD. Let's move on with TNA. Okay, TNA. Well, as you all know, we've been hearing about Joe Hendry, dude. He got injured a week before. However, Ethan Page, if you guys know this, who is currently with NXT, made his return a week ago to TNA and issued the challenge for the TNA World Championship. However, of course, Frankie Kazarian, who called his shot, saying, "I'm challenging Joe Hendry for the TNA World Title at Rebellion." However, Ethan Page told him that he also made the call because Joe Hendry's saying, "I don't care what promotion you're on, call Santino Marella and we'll get it done." But however, of course, Frankie Kazarian, who does not like Ethan Page stepping in on his territory, feeling like, "Hey, this is my ring. You don't have no right." But Ethan Page, who played a pivotal role in TNA in its history before, well, at the time it was Impact, but now they call it back TNA. But however, Santino Marella decided to say that, of course, Joe Hendry has to address about certain things, including one involving Unbreakable, which is a show that will take place a week prior before Rebellion. And this is during WrestleMania week, in case anybody asks. Now, we did see an interview with Gia to Steve Maclin, who is going to be facing, of course, Eddie Edwards, who's part of the upcoming three-way match involving the International Championship. Later, of course, talked about Eric Young and the Northern Armory, but he said he doesn't need them. But of course, Eric Young showed up saying that he does need them, that he will be by his side. But he tells him, "Look, you got the system who are trying to interfere. You need us." But Steve Maclin said he has everything under control. But the real question is, does he? We have seen the system time and time again interfere in matches to ensure that their guys win them all. Now, our first official match, we have Mustafa Ali taking on Ace Austin. So, as you know, Mustafa Ali feels like he's done with Mike Santana. Try to prove his point that guys who are now sober from addiction don't deserve happiness. And of course, Mustafa Ali took it way too far last week when he tried to get involved and tried to get in the head of Derek, who is a friend of Mike Santana. However, during his match with Ace Austin, Mustafa Ali decided to whack Ace Austin with the chair, disqualifying himself, putting Ace Austin to win the match. However, he wanted to take things way too far until Santana showed up and take care of business. And of course, Mustafa Ali, who is trying to avoid saying, "I'm done, you're a thing of the past." But Mike Santana was not going to let that go. I said it before, folks. He was not going to let it go. But Mike Santana took it a little bit a step too further to make his point. What happened is Mustafa Ali, being the coward that he is, even though he's claiming that he's not, he's just walking away, doesn't care. Well, apparently Mike Santana got into their vehicle and he kidnapped John Skyler. Later on, he had him tied up, make him cry like a little girl, like he was about to, of course, torture him. So this is a clear message to, of course, Mustafa Ali. So he doesn't know what Mike Santana is capable of. But the real question is, Mustafa Ali, you can try to hide saying you're done because you won your matches. No, you're a coward. You think that a guy like Santana doesn't deserve to be at the top of the food chain. Well, he will wreck everything you build piece by piece. He did that with the system. So don't count him out yet. But the real question is If he ignores it, that proves that he is a moron. Now, our next match, we have Moose versus Cody Deaner. Well, this wasn't unusual. He said he could challenge him for 2 minutes. I mean, it seems like in this match he could have lasted 2 minutes, but unfortunately it did not, because he got speared by Moose, and just like that, it was over. Until, of course, the system decided to beat down Cody Deaner with the help of the Rascals, saving the day. However, the system, consisting of JDC and Mike Myers, teamed up against the Rascals. Now, what's very interesting is this is the first time that Brian Myers and JDC team up. Normally, Myers always teams up with Eddie Edwards, so that kind of sets it up. But of course, in this match, as always, when it comes to, of course, the system, they find ways to ensure they win with interference or trying to cheat their way through, and this is one of them. JDC used try to grab Trey Miguel's legs to ensure he does not kick out, and they won that way. However, I don't know what the Rascals would do, but that's how they roll. Our next match, we have AJ Francis versus Mance Warner versus Sami Callihan. Now, of course, we have been seeing the rivalry between both Warner and Callihan time and time again, but this gave a clear view for, of course, AJ Francis to pick up the win when he kind of did a spear onto Sami Callihan. And just like that, it was over. However, Sami Callihan, as you know, who's been unhinged for a while, wants to end things with Mance Warner the right way, instead of like letting it go. I mean, Mance Warner saying he doesn't want to face him. Well, he told him this at Unbreakable, he would put him in a barbed wire massacre. Something that, of course, wrestlers like The Abyss and Sabu put themselves through. So we'll see. Next match, we have Ryan Menneth taking on Leon Slater. As you all know, Ryan Menneth helped out his big brother to take out Matt Hardy, and now he faces Leon Slater, who in fact grew up watching the Hardys. So he gets a bit of a piece of revenge for what Ryan Menneth and his brother did to Matt Hardy. However, Menneth tried to get away with it and tried to use a chair on, of course, Slater. But thank God for the Hardys, they helped out, and Leon Slater took him out when he applied, of course, the Swanton 450. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, he picked up the win. Now, our main event features Eddie Edwards taking on, of course, Steve Maclin. Now, of course, as we've seen time and time again when it comes to the system, we did see JDC and Brian Myers get involved. Even the Northern Armory tried to help, but nothing worked. However, of course, Eddie Edwards picked up the win when he applied the Boston Knee Party, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, the moment we expect, Joe Hendry, as you know, made his way to the ring. After what happened last week, we were still unclear about his condition. He was told that he cannot compete whatsoever, but however, he made it clear that he will be competing at Rebellion. And of course, Frankie Kazarian sees this like a way that you're going to lose his belt because you're hurt. But of course, he told him don't make mistakes. But in Unbreakable, he will be teaming up with Tessa Blanchard to take him and Masha Savage. So that's going to be a very interesting pre-warm-up for both of them. So we'll see where that goes. So I'm looking forward to that. So as of right now, I believe we are officially done with TNA. Let's move on with Ring of Honor. Okay, final review, Ring of Honor. It opened up with, of course, with trios action. We have MXM Collection with Mansoor and Mason Madden. They team up with Johnny TV. And of course, in tow is Taya Valkyrie, Johnny's wife, carrying 1/3 of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team belts, which of course MXM and Johnny stole, because they think, oh, they are the champions. But they have to deal with Ryan Mathers, Jonathan Cross, and Drake Daniels. But you probably can guess how this match ended. Of course, it was going to finish with, of course, applying a new version of the centerfold by all three men. I don't know who actually got the fall on this one, but it ends with MXM Collection and Johnny TV winning. Now, our next match, we have Marina Shafir taking on someone named Ninix NS Well, you probably can guess that this match ended with Marina Shafir when she applied the submission known as the Mother's Milk, and just like that, it was over by submission. Now, the Von Erichs, who we haven't seen for quite some time, made their appearance talking to Dustin Rhodes, saying, "Hey man, we've been watching what's been going on. What the hell is going on with these guys? They took your belt, took Sammy's belt, acting like they won it, but they didn't. You defeated them fair and square, but they refused to accept it." And of course, Dustin Rhodes knows it's stupid. They know it's really, really dumb. They can't accept the fact that they lost, but they made a clear message that they will deal with them, of course, next week, and that's what they're gonna do. So hopefully, if they do beat them, they just back off. Now, our next match, this is gonna be a battle of the Haas. If you don't see it, we have Preston Vance taking on the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. So of course, this was gonna be one of those matches where someone is gonna take a hard fall no matter what. And of course, Preston Vance has his compadre Jack Jameson to help out, but accidentally got himself taken out by Preston Vance. But it took long enough for Tomohiro Ishii to apply the vertical brainbuster, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our current ROH six-man tag team champions, the Von Erichs and of course Dustin Rhodes, take center stage to take on Dominic Garrini, Kevin Koo, or as we know them as Violence is Forever. They team up with Davey Bang. Now, of course, many of you probably can guess how this match was going to end. It ended, of course, with our champions winning thanks to Marshall Von Erich when he applied, of course, the Iron Claw on Davey Bang, and just like that, over. Now, Tail Valkyrie, as you know, has two things in mind. One is the current ROH Women's World Television title, a belt that she feels has been how do I say, she's been gunning for. But there is one person that considers herself as a threat, who's been making more appearances in ROH recently, and that is, of course, CML's very own Catalina. So, apparently that match is going to take place next week, so we're looking forward to that. Now, our main event is a proving ground match for the ROH World title. Now, for those who are new, proving ground match means they only have 10 minutes in order to do so. However, if they survive 10 minutes, then they'll get a guaranteed opportunity for the shot of the belt. Only two times this has happened. One was with the infantry when, of course, they try to take out the Kingdom, Matt Bennett and Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, and the other was QT Marshall. So Jay Lethal has to face against Bandito. We have the former ROH World Champion versus the current. So it's a very thing to watch. But of course, we know how talented these men are. But Bandito was the one who walked away with the win with the 21 plex, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So Bandito won. So we'll see what happens next week. But as of right now, we are officially done with our reviews. Let's move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. Now, before I proceed, I want to make everybody 100% clarify. There are no developments that I've been actually keeping track on recently for this particular part of the episode, so we'll be talking about those. Let's just focus on the upcoming events as we speak. As you know, we're getting closer to the Las Vegas events for WrestleMania week. Spark Joshi Puroresu of America, with their Lady Luck event on the 17th, announced a match. Starlight Kid will team up with Jada Stone. They take on Shooty and Zoe Lucas. So it's great to see Zoe Lucas. Those who don't know, she actually has a good connection with the late Hana Kimura. She was part of the Tokyo Cyber Squad with her before she passed. But it's great to hear from her. We have two events coming from Deadlock Pro Wrestling. Now, the first one is the Las Vegas show, title fight in Las Vegas. There's a proving ground match regarding, of course, the women's title. Danae Luna will face against Takumi Iroha, so that's going to be a very interesting match to watch. So we'll see. Now, I don't know the stipulation. Now, remember, Danny Luna will be involving in 2 other events involving Deadlock Pro Wrestling in Japan. She'll be defending her belt against Rika Tatsumi in night 1. And of course, if she loses that match, she'll face against Rina Yamashita. But if she wins the match against Rika Tatsumi, then she'll defend the title against Rina Yamashita. So we'll talk more about that a little later. Now, as for the Japanese shows for Deadlock Pro Wrestling for Spirit Rising, we only have for the Night 1 event on the 24th and Juku Face. Adam Priest will take on Shikihiro Iri. That's going to be one a blast match. These guys are heavy hitters, in case anybody asks. The Canadian promotion Maple Leaf Pro with their Northern Rising event that will take place on the 10th of May. Another name has been added for the 20-man gauntlet match for the title tournament. Johnny Swinger will be participating. Yeah, he's going to act like it's 1980 or something. Anyway, Singapore Pro Wrestling with their Mayhem event taking place on the 30th of May. It was announced that it's going to feature the debut of none other than the frontman of TMDK, Zack Sabre Jr. And then finally, of course, as you know, recently back in February, New Japan hosted CMLL's Fantastica Mania, where we saw wrestlers from Mexico made their way to Japan. And now we are going to see the reverse happening in Mexico for this year on June 20th. So we got plenty of time. No announcements who's going to participate. I hope we'll find out soon enough. So I think that's pretty much it what we have for everything as for our reviews and our news updates. So I believe it's time to call it a day. Okay, so I hope everybody enjoys this episode coming up. I haven't decided yet what to watch, what I'm going to do. I know some of you know me that I don't review, of course, Raw or SmackDown, but I do hear things anyway. But I am going to focus, I am considering maybe just focus on the Japanese stuff if you guys are interested. So if you guys are, then let me know and we'll go from there. But as of right now, I'll just wing it, see how things will roll up. So that's pretty much it. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day.